teach our people what we got to do nowadays. What's going on in Philadelphia? Read that.
Matthew chapter 4 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
From that time, Jesus began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
So even like Christ back then, he said to the people, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, is near. The same thing we do now, coming to our people and telling them to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You see what's going on? So many atrocities, so many things going on in the world. Hey sis, let me ask you right now, you with the glasses. Let me ask you a question. Based on the things that you see around nowadays, what do you got to say on these things? You can tell that these are the last days, right? So, because we see that the murder rate in Philadelphia is high as hell right now. Actually, right now we are #1 in the U.S. on the murder rate, right? Almost 500 this year, right? But yet, it's not a big issue in the U.S. Only here amongst us, we talk about it, but yet the other, as a whole nation in the U.S., it's not a big issue. They don't care about us for some reason.
Right.
We've been doing what? Marching. We've been doing religions, politics, economics for so long, but nothing is changing.
Right.
Let me ask you, why is that? Why is it that when it comes to blacks and Hispanics, you only see us at the bottom? You only see us in the worst neighborhoods, worst educations, worst jobs. Why? Why? It's because our people never really stopped and think and thought about these things. So let me ask you, why is it that we are going through these things? And how can we get out of these things?
Because we as a community need to come together, the black people.
We as a community gotta get together. Now let me get that. That is true. Let me get ZEPHANIAH 2:1. So she's not lying. You're right. But there is more to it than that. Because if we come together, we gotta have one goal, one mindset all together.
That's right.
We cannot come with different ideologies.
That's right.
If you think one way and if I think another way, we can't sit down and agree upon one thing.
Right.
You know, we're gonna clash eventually. And we're not gonna come to a conclusion, an agreement. Go ahead, read that. So you're right about that. And that is biblical. Go ahead, read that.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Read.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
It says, gather together, O nation not desired. That is a key point. It says, O nation not desired. So that as you know, there's a people in the U.S., in the world, that is not desired, and it gotta come together.
Right.
Right? So actually, look, read that. Come, sis, let me ask you, where do you see yourself in this chart right here?
I'm black.
Well, according to the Bible, you are from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
Because let me ask you, can you go back to the land of black? Can you go to the land of a nation of the blacks? No. Remember, black is nothing but a term that kept to the so-called blacks, what? Not so long ago. Maybe 20, 30, 35 years ago, right? Because it went from what? Negro to blacks to Afro-American, colored, and so forth. Everything kept on changing. So it says, come together, O nation that not desired. So it's talking about our specific nation, not coming back as blacks. No, you cannot go back to the land of blacks. Let me get Deuteronomy, yes. So let's show who you really are. Why are we in these situations, and how can we get out of these situations that we are living in? Go ahead, let me get, yes. Let me show them who they are real quick on Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now, sis, I did ask you, why are we in these situations? Why are we the ones going through the worst situations in the whole world? And we're about to show you why and who you are right now. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Go and let me get Deuteronomy 1:1 to show her who is the audience. Who is Moses talking to? You know a little bit about the Bible, right? A lot of people know about the Bible. So at this time right now is when Moses brought out the Israelites out of captivity from under the hand of the Egyptians. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So Moses only spoke to all Israel. So go to Deuteronomy 28, since we know who was the audience. So Moses was talking to the Israelites. Yes, brother, it was talking to us. Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Moses was telling the Israelites, it's going to happen. It shall come to pass. Future tense, a prophecy. If you do not follow these commandments,
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And so, say that again, that all these curses shall overcome thee and overtake thee. Now, brothers, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is a curse a bad thing or a good thing? Huh? It's a bad thing, right? Yes, it's a bad thing, right? A curse is a bad thing, right? So Moses, right, took out the Israelites from Egypt, and he said, if you don't follow these commandments, curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. Let me get 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee.
And these curses are going to be upon you
for a sign and for a wonder.
For a sign and for a wonder. Let me ask you, brother, what does a sign do? It shows you things, right? So how we know that that's a Dunkin' Donuts? Because of the sign. So it says, this curse is going to be upon you for a sign. It's going to tell you who you are on the latter days. Go ahead.
And upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy seed. Your seed is going into your children. Unto your seed forever. So it's, go ahead. Go ahead, you got a question? Go ahead.
My man, he said you, right? He meant, like, he was talking to people, right?
Yes.
So they died, right?
Did they what?
They died a long time ago, right?
Hold up. You just read that question again. I mean, read that verse again so it can answer to you right now. Go ahead.
Read his question.
What was the question again? It says, so those people died, right?
They died, so he said you were going to suffer the curses, right? So they came back, right? In the spirit or something, right?
Okay. So I know what he's saying. So he's saying those people died, but they came back again. Okay, so we'll touch on that. But yes, look, hear this one out.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder and upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed forever. That goes into your children. As long as you keep on regenerating or having kids, those kids were gonna inherit those curses. That's for a fact. If you die, brother, your son will go through the same curses. So yes, regeneration. So your son and your sons and your sons' sons, they're gonna go through the same thing if we didn't follow these commandments. Remember, we read in Deuteronomy 1:1 that Moses was talking to the Israelites, specifically them. So those people, it was Israel, right? So it says, and if you don't follow these commandments, there's curses that are gonna come upon you. That I'll touch on you on something that a law, a commandment that you are breaking, but you don't know yet. And first off, let me get one of the curses. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
It says, cursed are you going to be in the city. Now, when you come to any city in the whole world, who is the people cursed in those cities? Who is the one in the worst cities, in the worst neighborhoods, in the slums, in the ghettos, in the barrios, with the, like I said, with the worst educations? Like, who is that? Israelites, which is who? Is that white people? Is that Asians? Arabians? No, exactly. So that shows you that one specific people will be cursed in the city.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And in the field, right? So let's think on the time of colonization and slavery. What were we doing at that time?
Pick that cup. Move along, huh? Drive them niggas. Get that gun. Move along, huh? Here. What you doing, boy? Come on.
Cotton fields, tobacco fields, the sugar fields, right? I know. Down south we were also in the cornfields, all that. Right. So when you look at both, the Southern Kingdom, which will be so-called blacks, right? That's history. You cannot change that. So whenever we read out of this book, you cannot go against it. You can't go against history.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.